My hair is looking a bit wild. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday evening. It's lovely to see you all. Lovely faces. I'll say a few names. As usual, in the first 5 minutes, there's loads of people joining, but I'm going to say yours because you're already here and you're on time. So hello, Kay. Hello, Helena. Hello, the two Sandras. Both Sandras, hello. Hello, Lou. Lovely to see you. Hey! Hello, Judy. Hi, Stella. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Ola. Ciao, John. We got another John here, but it's not on screen. Did you not come on screen? Okay. Hello, Eva. Some people are not on video. If you fancy coming on video, please do. But I can see Elaine, hello, and Kelly, and the other John, and Mandy, and Jacqueline, and Sumain, and Julia. Oh, Diane, hello. Oh, and Jen, hello. So lovely to see you. We got a beautiful exploration planned for tonight. A couple of things before we put our teeth fully into our material. A couple of bits that I'd like to share. Number one is, I don't know, I told Sandra did it, T Sandra. If you can see, not Sandra Regan yet, but the other Sandra has got a T in front of her name. And I'm going to share this because it regards everyone, not the T, but the F.
The idea of a letter.
The idea of a letter in front of your name. I've asked some of the people in this group, people that are training in this work. So I've asked them to put a T in front of their name, the ones they're training at the moment. There's quite a few more starting in September, but the ones they are training, okay, so you've seen that John is now become T John because he's a trainee.
T Sam.
And T Sam, perfect. And the reason I want to share this with everyone, first of all, because you will know, the ones that got no T know why some people have got a T, but also as well as that, and it's for me it's a helpful thing to add because clearly people with a certain experience in the work, when there's sometimes when they are in the breakout groups, it can make a difference. That not necessarily that support the work, but it just does something when there is someone that's quite experienced in the work. And for the same reason, what I will ask you from the next time, although it's
I could do it tonight.
Yeah, you could do it tonight.
Yeah, everybody practice how to do it.
But that's for all of you.
Yeah.
To put an F in front of your name, an F is for founder, because all of you here are founders. Founding members. So you've been here with me either from 2 years ago or from last year, and all of you are founding members. And this will become even more relevant. In May, we are opening the group to some new people to join too. And I think it's going to be really lovely that you founding members and trainees we're also a little bit mentors, even if we're not going to do anything. The fact specifically, or we may do, because when you go in breakout groups, things happen. And if you have experience with this work, which you all do now, it makes a difference if someone else doesn't have as much experience. So I feel it's going to be really nice to be kind of welcomers and mentors and there as a mix with people that may be more new to the work. Some of them will have done loads of other stuff or retreats with me. So that's my proposal. You don't have to, but I want to offer this. That
to show people how to do it. You kind of go right click on the your own thing.
So if you right click on what?
On your own image.
On your own image.
You'll see a thing that says rename.
Really?
Yeah. Should do. Maybe I do.
No, I used to do it in a different way.
I think it's left click, John.
So maybe it's to do with Apple and PC. Mine's right click. So
mine.
Let's everybody put F. If you can put F, and then we'll see how many people are managing it.
I can't remember how to do it. It doesn't do it with right click for me.
Yes.
Rename. Yeah. Well, there are the 3 little dots. If you click on it, you can rename yourself. Great. I'm seeing some Fs arriving. Yay! So if you go on,
Sumin's saying, can you say again what F stands for? So F is for founding member.
F is founding member.
Because you all are.
Because you all are, which means you've been here doing this with me for quite a while. And you all have experienced loads of this and done loads of breakout groups and know the work quite.
You can say deeply. It won't mean any obligation.
It's not like you have to do anything, and there's no obligation. You don't have to run anything. You don't have to guide anyone.
But
you have quite a deep experience in this work now, and new people coming, they will know that you do.
It means when we do breakout groups, for example, I can mix people up really well.
Yeah, so like when we do Johnny's saying that when we do breakout groups, he will mix people really well. He will put some of you deeply experienced F people.
It doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean deeply experienced fucking people.
But it could be fucky people, no?
Yeah, it can.
F, that's kind of fit the bill, doesn't it? So is it clear, Sumin, for you now what's the meaning of that? And that the people with T, they're trainees, so they actually have a lot of experience with
Lou is WTF.
And what's that, Lou?
It's the World Wildlife Fund.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's what the fuck.
Great. Let me put the chat on.
If you want to be imaginative with your acronyms, you can be.
Sumin is because at some stage we suggested to call the people that have been here from the beginning elders, but we decided that founders. Not everyone was happy with elders because it sounds a bit like old. And if we put wise, then the ones that haven't got a W in front, they just feel like a little bit unwise. So we felt that founders is really a good acknowledgement.
I don't know whether W at the beginning is good. It wouldn't be good for a man, I think, might not like that.
That W, is it for woman?
No, it's for something else.
What is it? Okay. John had to tell me, you may guess what W stands for.
For him.
Mandy's favorite word when she talks to John. Oh, Lou, thank you. Mr. Zo, we missed you. Sumin, you are a founder. Everyone that's in this group is a founder because we had early founders and then we had refounders because the first year it wasn't called the university. That's since
2019.
2018. End of 2018.
November 2018.
So Sumin, that's when you joined. So everyone that's here, you are a founder. I mean, there's like early founders and later founders, but the uni is since 2018. Before it was called the FACI-BU full system. So yeah, you're all founders. You don't have to check. You're all founders, and it's lovely to be with you.
Topics.
Yes, second, I got John here. I don't need him when I go off in my own bits, but he's reminding me. The other thing we wanted to share with you, we shared in a couple of emails, and we had some really fantastic replies, but we wanted to just spend 5 minutes to hear you about what we call the topics, which is the exploration we're going to have from May onwards, which is choosing certain areas of life where we're going to explore what it is like to be me in that topic. And it's not just an area like in relationships or at work, which we will cover, they're kind of major, and everyone also suggested to do that. But it will also be around certain needs or certain behavior, like being me saying no, or being me when I need something, or being me when I want to express myself, or being me in conflict. So we wanted to ask all of you here tonight if you just take your notebook and write down a few.
Actually, just slap it onto chat, straight into chat.
Straight into chat. I give you a couple of examples.
So we've had quite a few people write in with suggestions.
Yeah, because we had quite a few people, a lot of people that wrote in, and we have some brilliant suggestions. So I want to read 2 or 3 out. So one was being me, say no. I actually mentioned that, as I take on too many things and get overwhelmed. Being me, setting boundaries. Being me, not explaining myself. I love that.
It's not you.
It's not me.
No. Oh, so not explain. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like kind of not justifying myself. Yeah. Being me in conflict. Being me around anger. Being me in saying yes. So these are being me and having a voice. Being me and just owning it. These are some examples. So we'd like to hear, probably some of you haven't written back, of examples of areas that you really love.
The question is, what would people most like to do for a month? What would they most like to?
Yeah. What would you most like to focus on and explore for a month?
In the being me context.
In our,
and they can tap it into chat under being me.
In our being me therapy. So it'd be being me. Great, thank you. Really got it, Jill. Being me without apology.
Yeah, that's very good rhyme as well.
Yeah, John is saying just type it. I initially suggested to write in your notebook, but just type them in, what comes up, and you feel you really love to spend some time exploring that together. Be me in conflict, says Claire. John, being me in relationships, thank you. Yes, we're certainly covering that. Judy, being me without conflict. Be me versus you being you. Excellent. We're gonna need quite a few months to cover them all. Being me without bloody questioning everything. Yeah. Can you feel the power of all of them? I'm loving them. Being me when I'm triggered, feeling abandoned or jealous. Thank you so much for that too. Being me artistically, Jacqueline. Being me and allowing some time to take a break from being me. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. That's actually one of the big themes in our butterfly of all the other bits being okay. Being me when I'm out of step with everyone else. Being me when I feel I need to defend myself. Wow. Being me without apology. Ola, thank you. Being me around uncertainty. I love that, actually. I'm going to do that, I think. Being me when I struggle to get important things right. Oh, what's really arising for me is also the two sides, the changing and getting where we want to get, while kind of embracing and not judging the bit that seems to stand in the way, the bit that we don't want, is really coming up for me as I read. Being me and being okay. Being me when I'm off, not always on. Thank you, Lou, that's really in that area. Being me when I'm doing things I don't want to. Yeah. Being me and setting boundaries, says Wing. And Judy, being me around other people's shit. Yeah, that sounds like boundaries too. Being me when I feel unconfident. Thank you. Wow, you can type more if some more are coming. We are going to go through the recording and take them and put them on our list, and then spend some time choosing some and covering some, and some resonate. Being me in teams and groups, letting myself just be, can make a song out of this. I think I'm going to give them to Leone, and I'm going to get him to make a song. How about that? You fancy that? Yeah? Isn't that a good idea?
Yeah, great.
Oh, thank you. That's brilliant. Be me without feeling like an imposter. Wow. Be me at my best. Did you enjoy Leone's song on the recording? Wasn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Being me at my worst. Absolutely. Because really, 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 in this beautiful butterfly, there is a left wing and a right wing, and our process. And next time I'm going to cover the divine me and the God me. Our process is to find a place where we can be with all of the bits, also what I would call the shadow part, or the more human part. Because for me, divine is not alternative to human. The point I'm trying to put across is that our human bit is really beautiful and really divine. And our things that do seem to stand in the way, they're also part. I was talking about it in this last recording, about our wounds being a beautiful part of us, and how much comes when we allow that and when we accept that, rather than when we just hate it and want to kick it away and feel that we're never going to go anywhere unless we fix that. So this is our journey in topics, in bits of the butterfly, and tonight we are exploring more deeply the topic I opened for you, but I haven't opened it at all because it's got at the front of it the word original. So it's a topic that's been there for quite a long time. And that's in fact the whole point of my conversation, my recording with you. It is to start to recognize when something that may feel really painful in the now is actually more original. It actually is an old story. And usually we do all of this work to allow some bit of us that's not so much in the old, but so much more in the present. We could call it the adult bit, but even that seems to start saying that there's a child bit that's wrong, but we can call it the adult bit, or the in the present bit, can actually meet that stuff. That was also one of my points in the recording, that there is something here that's really can meet that stuff. So it's not about suppressing it, crossing it off and avoiding it. As you know, avoidance is one of our key explorations, how we avoid ourselves. It's not about that. It's about meeting it from a place where we don't get taken over by it, or overwhelmed, or we end up back in suppressing. I'm going to read Eva's because it's long. For 1 month, even one day, I would like not to give a flying fuck about anything. If I'm good enough, what others think, if I'm doing or saying the right thing, if I got the right to say this or that, if this is too judgmental, then I like to return to caring about things, but maybe a bit more balanced. Yo! Oh. And in fact, my first bit, which is, I would like to do a little bit unmuted. We're gonna be quick because there's quite a few bits I want to do today. And it's something about being together in a group. We now heard each other. It was really brilliant to read and to feel each person. Is, when people write in the chat, is such a connection to where you're at. I mean, I clearly know each of you quite well, but also for you, for the ones that you don't know, to just read what they're writing, you really get a sense of what's there in front of you. And yes, I wanted to start this process tonight with just really noticing our group, and that there are some fantastic human beings in front of us. It's so easy, even if we're with people, to not really get it, that we are part of the same tribe. If you think about animals, when a dog meets a dog, we are of the tribe of humans. I think we forget that a lot. We just think we are so far from each other, that we are part of the same tribe. So I wanted to invite looking at people, noticing that it really does something for me. Ooh, another human like me, right here in front of me. Hello, you're like me. You like that? And I like to share in speaking this, and we're going to do it in a wave, so it's not like going to take a long time. And I'll explain how we do it in a wave. I want each of you to share, not the whole line, but I'll say the whole line, looking out at the group, and then you can share either I see, or I feel, or I know. So I see beauty. I know I belong. I feel warmth. And we're going to do this. John invented this wave system. You do it with hair length, and what else do you do it with?
I can't remember what else. Was it age?
Age. Let's do it with hair.
Height.
So the line you're going to share is, I see whatever you see when you look out at the group. I feel whatever you feel. One of the three, or I know. John says that you did it with cheese once.
Cheese is true.
We're going to do it with hair, because cheese was like, the people who really love cheese go first. The people that mediumly love cheese, they go middle. And the people who are vegans or hate cheese, they go last.
Yeah, because we didn't count vegan cheese as cheese, did we?
We didn't count
For
vegan cheese as cheese. It's coconut oil, it's not cheese.
You say that as a vegan?
I'm a vegan, so it's no judgment.
No anti-vegan.
Only vegans can say these things about vegan cheese. Should we go with cheese then? So first go, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we may go a little bit on the top of each other, but just,
like cheese on toast.
Like cheese on toast, says John. Yeah, what you feel, what you see, and what you know. Please, cheese lovers, start. Unmute and say, and followed by medium cheese lovers, and followed by cheese haters or vegans. If you're a vegan and love cheese, you can go where the fuck you want.
I'm a vegan. I love cheese.
Okay, you go first.
Thank you, because you know me, I always do. Vegan cheese is crap. We all know it, but you know what? You work around it. You let your taste buds develop, and then there comes a point where you just think, do you know what? This is what cheese tastes like now. And you put up and you deal with it. But at some point, when you rediscover and reconnect to the original thing that you love, that's when the good stuff happens. So I would just like to say, I feel happy and I feel excited to reconnect this evening with a group of amazing human beings, and I've missed you all.
Oh, lovely, Lou. Thank you. Okay, go. I'm going to leave only 4 minutes to do all of us. So go. Who's next? I know, I see, I feel around seeing people in the group.
I see possibility.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Kay. I know I belong. I've been away for a little while, but I do know this is my group. This is my tribe. I have a couple of tribes. I have another tribe, which isn't a really good one to belong to, but this one I love. Thank you.
Oh.
Inspired.
So can you say again?
I feel inspired.
Ho. We can all say ho if you want. Who's next?
I feel present.
Who's next?
I feel I have a voice.
Ho.
Who's next?
I love cheese, so I feel a understanding and kindness.
Who's next?
I feel heard.
Who's next?
I feel gooey and soft.
Who's next?
I feel hopeful, but tearful, and like I'm on the outside of this group.
Who's next? Con wasn't shared. I know. Please. Yeah.
I feel welcome and accepted.
You are. Who's
I
next?
know I'm capable.
Can you say again?
I know I'm capable.
Who's next?
I see lots of friendly faces and it's touching.
Who's next?
I see life force like spring in every picture.
Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go. I feel burnt out, but I see smiling faces. So I know this is good for me.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah, thank you.
I see lots of emotions, which might sound a funny thing to say, but I've kind of worked out I can see emotion. So that's what it's coming across like to me.
I get that.
Ho.
Ho. Anyone else wants to speak before we move on? Anyone next that hasn't spoken yet?
I feel connected.
Thank you.
I feel a bit overwhelmed but I see acceptance.
Yeah. I feel you're correct in your seeing. Yeah, I feel a lot of openness, and I feel I'm seeing the world through seeing you, and I like that image. Okay, so just yeah, please. Can you say again?
I feel stressed.
Yeah, thank you. And you're accepted too. Mm. So yeah, we can turn up here with all our bits. I do know that everyone's intention is to not judge ourselves, others, so you don't have to be brilliant or fixed or perfect or happy, but all of those feelings can come. Just notice how it feels now after the sharing and the speaking and the hearing and the seeing. Just notice. I also aware how much more ourselves we can be around friendliness. You know, when something kind of gets it, that's okay just to be here. It's like you don't have to be something else. You can just be here. And that's, for me, it's a great example of being me. It's just being here. A bit probably what Eva will say. But that's really so much more easily comes when we perceive the friendliness and the acceptance and the sharing and the... Is that correct? Do you feel that? You can nod if I say some good. So I want to say just a few words about our theme tonight. That is part of the butterfly. I actually got only my butterfly with loads of notes on, but I don't know, John, are you ready to put the butterfly on? But
you want to do both sides?
It actually doesn't matter so much. Both.
I can do.
John actually sent you our worksheet with both sides of the butterfly, which we're going to use at the end of the process today. And the layer it's probably helpful to have the...
Take me a little while, but I will.
It's okay. John is going to put the butterfly up. If you have a printed version, do bring it to the groups because it's nice. I really love having a paper version of the butterfly sitting with me. Because, hopefully, or maybe you've heard the recording already, which covers quite a lot of ground around this layer, because what I put on the left-hand side of the butterfly, they're basically layers under which certain parts of us are buried. I mean, they are parts themselves, but they cover up bits of ourselves that we learn to put away. And I put them in a specific order. And I had another drawing at some stage where I used the kind of layers like on, those pictures of layers of earth. So there is like a certain color with loads of stones in it, and then there is a lighter color, then there is a darker color. And they're really... no, I actually meant this one.
Oh, I thought you wanted the one that you were using.
No, I wanted... Well, yes, okay, this is fine, actually.
I can go up.
No, this is fine for now.
Yeah.
Because here you can see the layers. And the bottom one, I put in the divine part now in the middle. The bottom one, the original pain, it's actually usually quite a bottom layer, and the old belief and the personal lie, under the adaptive behaviors, under the fear. that tends to be right at the bottom of that, and that's the one bit that it's called pain. So unconsciously, our whole system tries to avoid that. So there is a reason for how I layered the different elements, and it doesn't mean they come in a specific order every time. Sometimes you can be really in touch with the fear, sometimes you're really caught in the behavior, sometimes you've got these repetitive ideas about yourself, which was more the identifications and the lie, and sometimes we feel the pain. Sometimes we don't feel the pain because all these other layers, they are protection layers. And I really love sharing that bit, because often when people hear there are protection layers, we stop feeling they are shameful and bad and they shouldn't be there. There are elements that came in, they're parts of us that came in to protect us when there wasn't enough protection, or there wasn't enough connection, there wasn't enough fulfilling, and it was painful, and we cannot live in pain. So we developed a fear to make sure fear is what stops you from touching the fire. So it kind of tries to make us go away from certain things, and we create, I mean, I say we, but it's not conscious, it's just our behavior came up to compensate, to adapt, to fit in, to do something else that wasn't the bit that we would have actually quite happily kept, like receiving or getting connection or relaxing or being vulnerable or expressing. We end up with a behavior that avoids that because that was not possible. So these are protections from a pain. And the bit I'm pointing out in my recording is that they also end up protecting us from the bit beneath the pain, which is the natural us, which is the being here now with whatever is here, without the adaptive behavior and the fear and the this and the judgment, which is just being here, which is what a child wants when they come into this world, to be witnessed and held and protected and being here. And that's kind of what turns up when all the layers go, is being here in this moment. That also sounds quite Eastern philosophy. There is a real fantastic meeting between trauma work and Eastern philosophy, because, or Eastern practice, because that's what happens when the layers go. And a lot of clients get surprised when they get into that space. They just think it'd be something else, but it's actually some kind of quite simple being space. And when we avoid, and again, I repeat, you don't do it on purpose. You would sign, we all sign any moment to just being here. It's just that we have these mechanisms. They're not our choice, but we're working so that it becomes our choice to be here and not in those, or it becomes our nature, or we get our nature back. So these layers are a protection, unconscious protection dynamics, protective parts of something that was really painful originally. And we really try not to go there. But when we go there from the present bit, from the safer bit, from the connected bit, actually what shows up is, even if we feel the pain and we sometimes have to hold it and go with it, there's something right with it, that's waiting, that's being. And so what I wanted to share is, because that pain is really not pleasant for the child. The fear that develops is that if you go there where it most hurts, you find what it most hurts as a child and what you really don't want. So I'll give you an example. It makes it really clearer. And also, this comes up in sessions a lot, that the ultimate fear is that if I show up in the world, no one is going to like me, for example. So for the outsider, the pain is I don't belong and I don't mean anything. And the fear is to discover that that's true, which of course it isn't. But if I reach out and I don't find anyone, that fear I have that I don't, that feeling will be confirmed. So I don't reach out. Does that make sense to you? So for the helper, the pain is this deep longing for what's unfulfilled. So the helper doesn't ask, because the possibility of experiencing that you long and don't get is scary. So the fear is that it's true that the pain is going to happen, that it's true that I don't belong, that if I long for something, it's not going to come. So for the super person, the pain is my vulnerability is crushed and used. So the fear is that if I show my vulnerability, so I will be crushed and used, so don't go there. That it gets confirmed that my vulnerability is dangerous. So we really unconsciously do everything not to touch that painful thing and get it reconfirmed that actually that's what's there. For the pleaser, the pain is me as I am no good. So the people pleaser doesn't show up, doesn't express, in case they, because they feel they would find out, as they're just gonna find out they're no good. What actually happens is usually the opposite when we start working with that part. And for the perfectionist, is the pain is I'm imperfect and flawed. And so they avoid imperfection because it's really scary that if they go to imperfection, it's going to be really hurtful. And I repeat what I said, in that avoidance, we actually avoid the place where we need to be. The truer us that's been covered up by the layers. And I call it the divine me, but it's not like a divine, like it's out there. It's a very human, it's not a superhuman thing, it's a very human part. I wrote here is a very human part. It is just the being here with all the bits of me. So for the outsider, the truer layer, the bit that's covered up, is I belong. And by not connecting and not reaching out, because it's scary to feel the pain, they often don't find out how much people want them. I mean, I am aware that people outsider, they are often the loveliest of people. And people really want them, but they find it so hard to believe. So they wait for others to come to them because it's too scary to reach out. So the bit that is covered up by the pain is actually the truer, which is I am, I exist, and I mean. I have a total meaning in this world. And the helper, the bit that gets covered, is the sweetness of receiving, which is a divine thing. I really see it as an energy. It is receiving a child, receiving another, receiving is the energy coming in, is divine energy. We are made for receiving. We are an exchange of giving and receiving. So that's totally human in that way. I'm calling it divine. It's sacred, meant to be. And super person is about vulnerability, experience vulnerability as a gift, as a deep power. And the pleaser, the divine part, the truer part, the covered up part is expressing all my parts. It's And the perfectionist, the covered up part, is how perfect imperfections are. And it's that mucking in and playing and exploring and experimenting that we really cut off when we didn't feel whole.
Do you want to lose the?
Yeah, I lose the. Can you just show the other side of the butterfly?
Of course, yeah.
Because we work quite a lot with the left-hand side, but the whole point, well, it's not the whole point, because one of the points is to come in touch with how okay the left-hand side also is when we can meet it and hold it. But for every bit of the left-hand side, I have a bit on the right-hand side, which is what gets revealed and connected and contacted when we make friends with the left-hand side, but we're not stuck in the dynamic. And I already said it, but I'm going to say it again, the pain, the original pain, and the pains are not bad. The wounds are not bad. They're not our bad bit. They're part of our journey, that pain, and it needs to be included and seen for what it is. And if we try to just get rid of it, it sticks. So we need to meet these parts. Can you go on the left-hand side again? Yeah. To discover they're not monsters. They're actually a doorway. I think I said it before, that my clear sense is developmental trauma, whatever you want to call it, the wounds, the bit that happens when we're not fully met. My sense, I haven't met anyone in the world that hasn't some of it. My sense is that is what being a human being is. I think that is part of being in a body, being a human being. That then I would say that's also the divine, the sacred part, the blessed part of being a human being. It seems to be what happens when we come into a body and we are dependent. We're dependent on others for a good chunk of our life. So it's worth considering that is actually part of the fabric, the shape of being a human being is not. Although in the process we really need to recognize what was fucking wrong, done wrong to us. There's also another bit which then allows the meeting for us. We need to put boundaries and recognize and feel the anger and know what was wrong, but also to then let that wound be a sacred part of us. Otherwise, we always feel it should have been different. I should have. In reality, that becomes I should have been different, which is such a painful feeling or thought, whichever way it comes in. Can you put back the full video?
Full video?
Sorry,
yeah, stop sharing.
The people. Stop sharing, yes.
Yeah. I'll just lay on that and then go. Yeah.
So I'd like you to share a word or a line, just something that's present for you right now as I explain this. This bit for me is so important that yes, we are on a journey of transformation and of working through dynamics, and at the same time there is a level of meeting and being with the bits we don't want. And there is a process or a meeting of also the pain that without meaning, without meaning to, unconsciously, we have been escaping, expecting to be lost if we touch it. Yeah, just what's there for you right now, just listening to me, feeling an understanding, connection, what comes up. Claire says fear, John frustration, exhaustion, thank you, scary, hopeful, confusion and exhaustion, tension. I like the idea that we shouldn't wish away our wounds. Thank you. Understanding, feeling heard. Thank you. Trepidation. Thank you for sharing. Sweetness of receiving touched me. Hopeful. I often get the feeling that I'm afraid to look in case there is nothing there. Thank you, John, for mentioning that. That's a really great example of what I was explaining. I guess that's quite an effective defense mechanism, yeah. I thought I knew already, but again surprised that apparently I'm already whole. Yes, you are. We all are. How about that? Thank you. Confusion, not so sure more my adaptation. What the original pain is and was. We're going to do a bit of work on that. Yes. Nicola actually is a good answer, not on purpose, to Elaine MacDonald. It all takes time. It's so true. It takes time to explore our layers. Because remember, we are working with survival adaptations. Bottom line, survival means there was a feeling of life and death at some stage, and we really, really, really needed these defenses. So the system tries to hold on until we see them, we see that we're safe, we feel that we're safe. So thank you. Yes, it's a journey, real big journey. And at the same time, we're already whole. How mind-boggling is that? Thank you, Judy says, with you, Elaine, of course. Yeah, and sometimes confusion is about newness coming in. I would allow it as a good sign. Okay, thank you. I'm actually going to share with you an experience of mine, a very recent one, around original pain, to give you, I know that stuff really helps to get more of a sense of it. And then after that, I am going to take you through. It will feel a bit like a meditation, because we're going to feel feelings in the body and breathing. And it's a process of dropping through layers, so that you also have an experience for yourselves of some of the layers tonight. And usually these experiences can come back whenever you need them, as well as opening stuff in themselves tonight. So I'll tell you first about my experience. It actually happened recently. It was last Sunday. We went to, and I had just been preparing this, the recording on the original pain and the repetitive pains that actually originally were felt in the past, and they repeat themselves in the present. when there is a present trigger and they don't really belong so much to what's happening now. But there is a connection between something that's happening now and that old pain. But when the old pain comes, it comes. And it, it's not that it's not real, it's real. It's just that it was originally generated another time, and it's actually at some level a repetition, a kind of pain memory of something old that happened a long time ago. But when it transfers into the present, then it feels like the present is really difficult or scary or horrible, when in fact most of the time it's not, or at least it's bearable enough for to be there. Sometimes it's not, and then we come and go. So let me tell you about this experience. We John and I had we've for months we decided that we have a very, very long walk every weekend, and we hadn't mastered one very long. It's like 4 hour plus. We walk a lot, but it's usually under 3 hours. So we found an area we live in Brighton, so we have the very beautiful South Downs close by. And we actually walked the last bit of the South Downs. It's so beautiful. And we walked for 5 hours. We thought it was 4, but we walked for 5 hours. And, for me, walking, it just takes me to a much deeply connected place as my mind clears. And there's clearly something about the space, the nature, the actual movement. Remember, a lot of the powerlessness is a kind of freeze. There's no movement. So there's all those things put together. And we arrived, so I feel I was really in good connection with myself. And we arrived in this town, which we had to really walk through to get to the place where we could get a taxi. It's called Eastbourne. I hadn't been there before. And it's a really sweet town. So my first reaction was like, oh, it's a really sweet town. It's a place, it'd be nice to live. Not that I want to move out of Brighton for the next 40 years, but it was really quiet. And as I walked through this town, I just started it was kind of sunset. So I'll tell you later, because there is a connection there. It's like the light going down.
Sunday.
And Sunday, yeah, it was Sunday and it was sunset.
Sunday tea.
It was Sunday tea. And anyway, walking through this really quiet but pretty town, I started having this, there's a mix between feeling and thoughts. And it was like, if I lived here, what would I do? And how could I survive? And how could I work here? And there were quite attacking thoughts. I could, beneath, there weren't as such, there wasn't these words, but it was really like self-bashing, self-criticism. Like, you see, I'd be stuck if I was here, I'd be no good. Which my rational self knows that this stuff doesn't make sense, but they were there, and it was quite hard to let them go. And I actually noticed that some kind of anxiety was rising. I don't know if the anxiety came first, but I noticed it when I noticed those slightly attacking, self-judgmental thoughts about I'll be stuck and I wouldn't know what to do and I wouldn't be able to do. And I just recorded, I just recorded the original pain. I was really and I could feel that layer of which I probably put down as a lie layer, as a
personal lie.
Wasn't it? I could feel there was something much deeper than that, and well, it's hard to call it truer because it's past, but it's more at a deeper feeling level. And so I just asked myself, I think the moment I thought there must be a pain beneath and a older pain, I just clicked it. It was the sunset, the Sunday evening, and I got in touch with this loneliness, which was gigantic. It's like an empty, it's a bit resonates with the Sunday tea time, but it's not about that. It was so clear. It was my childhood loneliness. It was like a desert, just a huge, huge loneliness. And I knew I really was with that because I could feel the charge of it. My head started spinning because clearly that experience as a child was really strong. And it was great that I was so present to the theme of the original pain. So it was clear that it was from childhood, and I was walking. And I basically, fortunately, had a half an hour walk left in this really lovely, we're at the seafront. And I just used the walking and the breathing to, I want to say hold it, but just like my body was really present, and I could just be with this loneliness. And the more I could be with the loneliness, the more it became sweet. It just became like being with a sweet child. And I felt this sweetness towards myself. Actually, a client yesterday felt the same sweetness in a session. I don't think I ever felt that sweet towards myself. And I'm not saying it was like an easy thing. And it doesn't mean it has to be hard. I think I really got in touch with, with a deep feeling of it. I could feel the energy was strong. And when I caught my head spinning, I really used my body and my breathing and my walking. And so I wanted to give you that as and the next day I felt so connected with people. I mentioned the deep loneliness. I felt so connected with people. Just like looking at people was joyful. And I don't want to go to like meaning explaining, but the thing about, how would I survive here? It's clearly not a completely kind of linear connection, but something to do with the loneliness and not knowing where to go. I don't think I was going to get there through thinking it through. It doesn't matter sometimes. We do. But this kind of dropping to check what was beneath. And the outcome was really powerful because it really was a sense of belonging. I didn't notice it until the next day. I mean, I really loved, I have such beautiful memory of that place now, because that's, that walking into sweetness. And I wasn't trying it, I was just staying and breathing and walking. And then this thing transformed into kind of child self. And sweetness really went missing in my childhood. That's the number 2, the not receiving bit that then becomes helper. And so I said this story to help you with, getting even more of a sense of this. And then with what I'm going to take you through next, which is a guided meditation process. I wanted to invent a word, a word that's a mix between meditation and processation.
I'll ponder that.
Yeah, John is better with titles than me. Do you feel that it got clearer through my experience what I'm talking about? Can you feel that?
Processitation, Medi-process.
Medi-process.
That's from John Baldry.
Yeah, let's do a Medi-process. Cool. And after the Medi-process, we're going to have some breakout groups to share your process. And then we're going to share as a group. Thank you, Claire. Claire says thank you for sharing that. Yes.
When you were sitting there waiting in Eastbourne, you said, it's all right, no, just you can share what I say. Just that you said something like you felt better than you'd felt in years, just like you're just in a really peaceful place.
John reminds me that at the right end of our walk, we were sitting on the beach for 10 minutes. And I said I was feeling...
You just said you felt better than you felt in years.
Better than I felt in years.
Blissful.
So it's a good bit to say.
Just felt fantastic.
Just also part of the reminder that there is something really, really awaiting for us. You know, I don't even want to say below or next, because there's something I started teaching recently in my training, that the trauma and the blessed are pretty much in the same place. I don't know if some of you have noticed that in your processes, that it's just kind of, you know, that's why you find the bits that you couldn't feel. So yes, I think that's really part of my teaching, to really drop this thing of bad and good. Does that make sense? Okay, ready to ride?
Roll.
No, I said it on purpose.
Did you?
I had in mind one of those little trains from seaside resorts, you know? Choo choo. That take you around. How are you feeling? I know some people typed, and that's really, really lovely. Through the storm, you found the sunshine, yes. Can you just type 1 or 2 words about how you're feeling? Just for me to hear you. I love to do the talking, but it's going to take us 10 minutes. So yeah, just type how you're feeling on the chat. Thank you. I'm not going to read it out, I'm just going to read it. You read it too. That's lovely to hear you. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So, what was it? Meditation?
Medi-process.
Medi-process. We may have to work on that a little bit. Ideas are welcome in the future. Invent a whole new area of healing. So this process brings together quite a few bits that I work with, but also this feeling of dropping through the layers, which is part of my work and was really clear in my experience on Sunday. So I guide you through. It's fine to leave cameras on. If you prefer cameras off, that's also fine. It's really up to you. And I guide you with my voice, and we're all here. Even if you take your cameras off, you see the names. And I mention a few times in the process to really sense it, that we're doing this together. This really makes a difference. You're here with me, you're here with a group, we're doing this together. And I will mention at times elements, not of that Sunday night process, because this is slightly different of what happened when I did it with me, just to, sometimes the example makes it easier to go there. So in this process, we're working with feeling and body. and dropping into and through deep layers. So I really want to invite you to use your body and your feelings, i.e. emotions, and I'm going to guide you through those. And the mind, of course, is going to have a part. The mind, I mean the conscious mind, or the cognitive mind, but it's only one part of it. We're really going to use body sensations and emotions. So the mind will be there, but sometimes have a smaller part. And there are moments where insights come, and the cognitive is really, really helpful. So it will be a mix. And at the end, we're going to use the butterfly sheet. You don't need to know about this now, but I'll tell you at the end, because we're going to use it. And it's not going to be a step-by-step thing. It's just to fill in the bits that you will notice during the process. So you may get in touch with a certain feeling, and you can then put it on the sheet, or with a certain joy, and you can put it on the sheet. You're not looking for, oh, this is this and that is that. You're just letting things happen as I guide you through. Beautiful people. But the bit at the end with the butterfly sheet is good for reflecting. So we're going to use that at the end. Then I really want to invite you to make space. I see some of you have switched off your video to make space. It's different for everyone. For some of you, it's actually nice to remain with the video. But I'm going to have bits where I go slower to give you space. Even right now, I notice my voice is going into that way that gives space. And we are going to allow space, a bit like I did on my Sunday experience, my Sunday sunset experience. We're going to allow space in our feelings and in our body so that things emerge, and also we're going to see them with our mind. So to start with, I'm going to invite you to stretch a bit, because we are really involving body sensations. And so, yeah, stretch a bit. Notice how your body wants to stretch. If some of you want to stand up, or you may want to stretch down. Yes, and really, we're going to really include our lovely bodies in this process. And we're going to use some breathing to process as well, and let you just notice where your body is as you stretch. You probably can feel the space your body takes is defined by the outer layer is the skin. So from the skin in, just really take a moment to get a sense of the space that you are. Clearly, there's also an energetic field, but at the moment I'm talking about the physiological space from the skin in. To notice where your body is. And notice where your feet are, so that you touch the ground, and your bum touching the chair, and maybe your back. I don't know where you are. How are you sitting? If you're lying down, that's also okay. You can feel the bit where the surfaces is holding your body. That's a beautiful place to feel, because that's where we feel weight, because there is gravity there. So by noticing where your body touches the surfaces, your body regulates, because it goes into feeling its weight, and it's being held through the force of gravity of the meeting of two surfaces. So feel the ground, even if it's a sofa, it doesn't have to be the floor, but feel it. And you can let something in your body press a little bit against that ground. Could be your bum pressing on the sofa, could be the feet pressing on the floor. And I'm going to use a little bit of this later to make space when feelings come. And again, there's something when we press that we get a sense of where we are, is our orientation, and also is a sense of our, it can be micro movements, but there's still a sense of ability to move and a sense of the power, the natural power that is within our bodies. And then stretch again a little bit. Again, just in the way that it feels good now. Yeah, it could be stretching your neck. It could be opening your shoulders. It could be just pulling or pushing a little bit your back. And you could also do a little bit of twisting left and right. Oh, it's the beauty of getting into the body a little bit. Oh. And then take a few breaths in this way, like really breathing to yourself. So it may be like really gentle, it may be very soft, or it may be deep, or it may be strong. There is a practice I use, a breathwork practice called continuum, where one of the breaths is is called the sh breath, and the description of it is like a smoochy mouth, round mouth, like breathing to a baby. Maybe that's the breathing you need right now. Just gently breathing to yourself. And then the next few breaths are about breathing into somewhere in your body that really wants to be reached. Yeah. And then I'd like you to get in touch with something similar to what happened in my process on Sunday. Those type of voices, they are a bit repetitive. They can be a bit attacking. You will know yours. Personal lie, repetitive thoughts, something you notice you tell yourself quite often, a bit attacking of yourself, or quite often or quite a lot. So it could be, look at me and I don't mean, look at me, I don't mean anything, or I'm not important, my feelings are not important, I always come second, I'm not capable, I'm not seen, I'm not visible, I'm not special, I'm not good. You will know yours, or one. We have more than one. Just choose one that may be more present at the moment. I gave general ones. You can be much more specific in the way it comes up for you. You know how yours come in, or the one you choose. So, for example, a partner is not acting in a considerate way, and there's a certain conclusion that come up about yourself, a certain lie like I am secondary, I'm not as important as whatever, my partner's work. Or you get scared about something and the voice goes, look at me, I'm weak, or I'm a child, or I'm a failure, or yeah, I guess you're in touch with one of those. And then I like you to connect to a situation, a specific situation, either when usually this thing comes up, or recently a situation where it has come up. And let it be specific, because that's part of the process. were one of those attacking, self-judgmental, repetitive bits that you probably know quite well come up. And these ideas about yourself come up. And take a moment with that. And as you do, you may be also in a feeling. Maybe you are just in the thought and in the words, but as you choose the situation, you may start getting into a feeling of it, of that self-judgment. So for me, in the Sunday evening walk was, the words were, what could I do? Look at me, how I could survive here. And then it came with a feeling. And maybe things are happening already in the body as you get in touch with your line and perhaps in your emotions. So take a moment to notice what's there and take a moment to breathe with what's there. And the breathing we're doing not to shake things off or to make them go away, but we're doing it to make space for ourselves, for our reconnections. So use the breathing to give space to that bit of you that's okay for that to be here, even if it's not nice or maybe painful or you really don't want it. Just make a little bit of space for your breath. And then I'm going to invite your whole being, including your body, as you make more space and you feel and you experience, you just start really noticing what's happening in your body, what's happening to your brain. I can feel my brain actually starting to change. And what's happening in your emotions. And then I'm going to invite your whole being, including your body, to drop down into a deeper layer where we're going to explore the original pain. And in a little while I'm going to count to 3 and you will drop, even if you don't know precisely what that layer will feel like yet, or there may be some sense of it already. And we know that the stuff that comes up with self-judging conclusion, we now know that it is a reaction to something deeper. Those conclusions and those attacks are a reaction to something deeper. So we're going to drop to that deeper place. And we can do that really gently. Just let your body, your sensations drop to that deeper layer. Just following what I'm saying, it will go there. Yeah, I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and just start noticing. Yeah, where you're going. And I'm aware that we're still really here and present, even if we're more deeply in ourselves and in touch. And actually there is a space in here and now, in the here and now for the body and for your being. And you can feel it now. Your weight, your presence. To this here and now, you here can make space and hold space for that experience. And also remembering that we are together here and as a group. And just notice as you drop into the deeper layer, what you start sensing. When I did this for myself this morning, my skin started tingling. And use your breathing to experience what's happening now for you. So for me, when the outer part of my body started tingling, I got in touch with with a bit of emptiness inside. So just notice as you're dropping and dropped into this deeper layer, what are you noticing? And take a moment to experience. Sensations in your body and emotions. Notice what's coming. And what I did this morning during this process is I asked myself, what is the original pain? And I'm not really asking your mind. What is the original pain? And what happened to me, I had a moment of a memory where my dad was there. But we don't need to go so much following that, but you may get a memory or an image or a feeling or a sense of something. And I just allowed myself to get in touch with that. I didn't follow through ideas of history. And what came for me was loss. So just check what's coming for you and what this deeper layer is. Yeah. And for me, getting that word really helped in the process. It made it clear, this word loss. So I'm wondering if you're getting a word. And I remind you that you're here experiencing this layer. Here, right here, with me, together with everyone else in this group. And there is space here for this. And take a moment to breathe with it. Noticing what's happening, noticing which bit of you is making space for this, is holding it, is feeling it with something of you that's allowing this feeling. Just get a sense of what this part of you is that's allowing, holding, making space for this experience, this feeling, this deeper layer. Yes. Yeah, feel that. And then I'd like you to give a sound to this feeling or emotion that you are experiencing. And the sound is not to disperse it, but is to contact it. So if this feeling had a sound, what is it? And let yourself make it. And it can be a tiny sound, it can be a strange sound. And just remember, is sound it so you connect with it, you experience it. It's not about letting go or eliminating. When I did it this morning for myself, it was like a sound. And even if you know the sound in some way may not be so easy for you to hear it, it's actually making more space to connect with whatever is there for reconnection. Even if the sound is not pleasant, because we are sounding a difficult emotion. And notice what happens as you do that. Just feel completely free to make it as you want, as it's right, to take all the time you want with it. It can be a type of breathing. It can be really quiet. It can be more inside, more outside. And as you do that, there may be bits loosening or tightening. And also remember the word you came up with for the original pain. And keep noticing what happens, what comes to you, what you see, what you feel, what you realize, what you connect with. Again, notice where your body is, where the sense of gravity is, where the surfaces are, where your feet are. You may feel like you want to press a little bit your body into the surface, maybe your feet. Maybe you can put your hands onto your hip bones and press against the bones a bit. Maybe it's feeling your breathing. To feel that you are here. To feel there is a container. There is something that's really here. Letting the emotions and the sensation have space, come and go, come and move. And just experience if you press a little bit with anything, with your feet, with your hands, with your elbows, with your back to the backrest. Yeah, just notice what happens. And sometimes a little bit more wants to come and some pushing wants to come. And so you can let yourself have that. And sometimes things come in the rest of the body. Something can happen to the jaw or to the shoulders or to the legs and the feet. You want to press or walk, or the body wants to move. And then I'm going to ask you to go back for a moment to the situation you're connected to at the beginning of this process. When you picked the negative self-judgment and you chose a situation. And just notice what's happening now, what you are experiencing when you connect back to that situation. Yeah, notice in your experience what happens. And let yourself breathe with it. Yeah. Yeah. So you go back to that situation where you started. And yeah, notice what happens reconnecting to that now. And now, to finish this process, I'm going to guide you to drop again as I count to 3. And this time you're going to drop into what lies beneath a divine part. Again, don't do it with your mind. Let the opening guide you. Just feel it in the body and in your emotions. Maybe an image comes. Maybe you see something. And take a few breaths as I guide you into that. To that bit that is more real, more in the moment. And now we count again to 3 as you drop into that just being you, in the safety of that. And 1, 2, 3, and let yourself drop, let your body drop to the next layer, and just notice where you arrive and what's your body feeling and what are the sensations there. And what you're experiencing. And just notice where you are in yourself. Notice what's yours in this place. And notice what you're feeling. Notice what you're finding there. Really take a moment to experience what's there. And maybe images and sensations and body feelings and words and realizations, or an image of yourself, or a space inside your body. And then gently start coming back. And when you come back in your own time, I'd like you to get you can use your notebook, or you can use, if you printed it, the new butterfly sheet. But I don't want you to go too heady about filling things. You can just put some words where they feel right if you're using the butterfly sheet. Otherwise, use your notebook to write the meaningful bits of that experience. For you, whatever they are. So you can use the butterfly sheet if you have it printed, and it's not about every step. It's just maybe you noticed a fear or an adaptive behavior, you noticed a new seeing, you felt the power, so you can put it in the matching layer, in the matching box. But otherwise you can just take your notebook and write what's there for you. What you got in touch with, what and then we're going to go in breakout groups so you can share where you are. I'll give you a couple of minutes to write and reflect. Clearly, you can take a lot longer also after we finish, and things will land and the processes usually carry on. So you can have your butterfly sheet and fill other bits tomorrow or the next day as you notice more stuff. But for now, write what's most present and what was most important for you in that, or in anything that we shared today. And when we're going to go into little groups of 3 for 10 minutes. So you have about 3 minutes each, just something that's good for you to share about what you experienced or what you're getting in touch with or where you are. And then we're going to come back and we're going to have 5-10 minutes to share together. And remember that in the little groups, you can just be a witness. If you don't want to talk, you can just say, I don't want to talk, I just want to listen. Yeah?
Yeah. Soon Min is having to go, so she's just saying bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, Sumin.
Okay.
Okay.
Might have to do a bit of moving around if somebody doesn't go in. If somebody doesn't want to go, that's fine. You can say, do you want to say that?
Yeah, if any of you doesn't want to go into the sharing groups, you can stay out and then we see each other again in 10 minutes.
If the groups are there's too many or too little, I might do a little bit of moving.
And John may move a tiny bit.
If you're in one, for example, I think.
Yeah, if someone is not in a group or is too little or too many.
10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me when you're ready.
So people are starting to come back in a minute. Yeah, so we finished our process and people have shared. And if you're watching this and you haven't been here and shared, do write things in your notebook of what came up from the process or using the hello everyone. Wow, this time was like suddenly everyone was back. I love it. Welcome back. It's quite interesting when you go off to the breakout rooms. I always imagine you sitting in little groups in physically sitting in a room together. I swear. I always think of you sitting somewhere together, which of course is very sweet. Welcome back. We only got a few minutes to finish. How was that? How was sharing? Was it nice? Yeah. Oh. So I really like to finish with a, yeah, people love sharing. With a line each, typed up. Be lovely to speak to each other, but that takes a lot longer. And as we're pretty much to time, should we, yeah, type a line that's, yeah, that's important to you, so that we can share on the chat before we finish just something that you got from this, something that you're present to, something that you're feeling. And it doesn't have to be a brilliant feeling. It can be a difficult feeling. It'll be really nice to finish with everyone sharing. I'll read it out. Fab to share and be shared with. I know that was about to come into the sharing, but I'll still read it out. Connection. Embrace your weakness and use it as a strength. Thank you. I have nothing to be ashamed about. Beautiful. Eva says, thank you, Stella. Supported and accepted. I am okay as I am. Seen and heard. Wonderful. Thank you. Nicola says, thanks, John and Elaine. Beautiful connection with Eva, Stella says. She made me smile inside. Oh, wonderful. I appreciate how honest people are in this group. Thank you. So do I. It's just really brilliant. It's a journey and we make better choices as we grow. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really how it works. Wonderful. If other people type, I'll read it in a minute. But in the meantime, actually what was going on for me made sense, whatever anyone else thought. Brilliant. So I want to finish on that bit. Oh, absolutely. It's a journey. We really are journeying very deeply, touching stuff. So I want to invite you to stay really open. Have your butterfly sheets with you, now the two, the left wing and the right wing, not politically.
Say side, maybe.
Left side wing and right side wing. My differences were never valued, and so I had to become the same. Fuck that from now on. Yeah, and as things come, write them down in your notebook, write them in your sheets. You may find tomorrow, next week, you start realizing that there is a new behavior available. Go and put it in. Just things, the nature of this process is that we touch stuff, we understand stuff, we feel stuff, we see stuff, and then it carries on. So I really want to invite you to keep this somewhere. Sometimes I ask people to put something under the pillow, to write a line and put it under the pillow, and things happen at night. I'm not going to ask you to put the sheets under the pillow because you're going to process like crazy at night. But put it somewhere so that when things come up, use it to put them in. And then after a few days or every few days, you can see the different elements that you're realizing. So yes, thank you everyone. It's really always lovely to share, and I look forward to seeing you.
Shall I play some music going out?
Oh yeah, John is going to play some music going out. Leone's music. It's really, really beautiful to share with you. I also really appreciate the honesty and the journey together. Thank you for witnessing my silence. I feel so deeply upset and honored to be heard in this darkness. That's wonderful. And that's the whole point of being together in this way. So hold to all your bits. Please let them be there. Hold them dearly. And make space for your feelings from that safe bit of you in the here and now. Big, big love to everyone. And John, are you going to play a song? Ciao, beautiful. And John is going to play a song for anyone that wants to stay another couple of minutes.
To know, does anybody feel this? It's deep inside my spirit. It's something I can hide. But every time that I see a leaf falling from a tree, oh, by the shiny blue skies, oh, when the sun's warm and bright, I stop and then I start crying. And every time that I do, I see it's okay to feel sad or angry or down. So I start running around. There's so much beauty for me. I was walking by Rummy Lake, no feast of leaves. I had this ache inside of me, but the beauty made it leave. 'Cause every time that I see a leaf falling from a tree, or even rainy gray skies, or when the stars fill the night, I stop and then I stop crying. And every time that I do, I feel it's okay to feel sad or angry or down. So I start running around. There's so much beauty for me. This world grateful, 'cause life's beautiful. I want this world grateful, 'cause life's beautiful. I want this world grateful. This life's beautiful.
That was beautiful, wasn't it? Ciao, beautiful people. Mwah. Thank you.